with GuitarEdge.com. I'm here with Sevendust. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. So you guys got this new album out. I was totally digging it. Now, on the album, I mean, there's a great DVD that comes with it. Why don't you tell me about kind of what you're using on the making of the album, first of all?
Amp-wise, I pretty much use the 5153 for just about everything on it. I use the 6505 to do some doubles, but I started using the EVH on the last record, and it kind of got most of the workload of this record as well. Used my old Marshall for a couple of the lead sections, some of the overdubs, but it was mostly all EVH. I mean, it was kind of surprising how much we ended up using it. You know, Johnny K's got all these great, boutique amps and, a bunch of killer Marshalls and stuff, but we just kept plugging into that 5153 and kind of kept looking at each other going, all right, let's just roll.
Now, have you played the 5150 series before, or was this like the first time jumping in? What about the 3 is different from, I guess, the rest in the line?
I used to have one of the original 5150s, and coming from the Marshall school, there was always this buzziness that I couldn't get out of it. I loved the amp, but there was a certain thing that it did that I just, I didn't understand back in the day, and I guess I still kind of don't, but I guess the biggest thing is the 5153 doesn't have that thing that I've always been trying to get rid of. But it's just a solid amp for me. It works really, really well. It's kind of a one-trick pony, and if you like that trick, it's great.
What about you, Clint?
I used, like John said, that Johnny K had an insane amount of, boutique amps, old Marshalls, just incredible amps. If you're a guitar player, you're just like a toy store, But I ended up, the process to find the tone was really hard. I played Diamond, so of course I used some of those. A lot of the Diamond stuff I used for solos, but I used a Diesel and a Bogner combination for some of the rhythms, and it was really hard. I mean, there was so much to pick from. Me and John just used the first few days just to establish the main rhythm tone, and he found his, and I was trying to find something that would complement his. So, mainly it was the Diesel, and then the Bogner, and then I used the Diamond, and of course on a lot of overdubs and the stuff I needed to cut through with, and the Diamond's great for that. It's a really the tone of it sticks out of a mix pretty well. So for overdub stuff, it was a good go-to for that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was the funnest time I've ever had, exploring different guitar sounds,
Now, Clint, you coming back into this, I mean, obviously having a big kind of writing influence along with everybody else, but I mean, what was it like kind of coming back into it with this album and kind of going back out? I know you've been with them before the album got cut, but why don't you tell me about, I guess, kind of what was going on with you and your decision to kind of come back in and kind of walk me through all that?
I mean, coming back, when I left, John basically had to take over pretty much all of the guitar writing and song writing, so I just kind of wanted to ease back into the formula, because they had, John had stepped up tremendously when I was gone, and so I kind of came in, and John had done 3 records while I was gone. They put records out like pretty quick, so I think I just wanted to kind of come in as a relief system, just something to kind of to chime in a little more, just to kind of give John a little sense of, okay, well, you got someone helping you now, and we kind of united on that. And this was easier because we were away from each other, so we appreciated each other a little more, and I was just happy to be back.
And you can definitely tell, I mean, that the influences kind of come back, that dust feel like on Strong Arm Broken.
It was called John 1, but it was a weird song because what turned out to be the choruses of the song were verses, and they had all this other music and stuff, and Clint and Morgan had these killer verses and bridges for a different song, and we kind of took them and kind of just stuck them together and went, all right, cool, that was one of the songs out of the first batch. We actually had a really good first batch of songs on this record, because we had Here and Now, we had Strong Arm Broken, and we had Forever Dead was actually out of that first group of songs. So I mean, it was cool. It was one of the ones that just, it kind of happened. It clicked pretty seamlessly, pretty easily, When we thought we were at a stopping point, we didn't know where to go with it. All of a sudden, it was like, wait a second, that's the chorus, that's not the verse. We're like, let me get my head wrapped around this a second. So it's cool when that happens, though. It happens a lot. You're sitting there and you're thinking that this part is, this is a great verse, it's a great verse. No, it's a chorus.
Coming into this, I mean, it's well known that you guys kind of had your ups and downs. I mean, when it comes to those kind of struggles, I mean, how did you guys kind of overcome this? And, and I guess how do you stay strong through it and keep, moving forward?
Through the music. I mean, honestly, it's kind of, I mean, we've said it a million times, it's our therapy, but it really is. I mean, instead of seeing a therapist, we make music. It's just part of our process of being able to kind of get a lot of that out, I mean, we talk about things in generalities, but know that there's usually something that inspired, the lyrics of that song, something that's usually deeply personal within something, somebody within the band or a situation that we've gone through. And it doesn't always have to be about the negative things. There's some, I mean, through the negative you find you learn a lot, for sure. I mean, with all the mistakes that we've made, I mean, we could write a book on what not to do in this business, for sure. It'd end up being a bestseller. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, what I mean?
The gear that got away story. It's if you ever had a piece of gear that you may have picked up and sold, or maybe had stolen from you that you wish you wouldn't have.
I had a '76 Explorer reissue that I thought was a maple guitar, and it ended up being a Carina, and I sold it, and I'm kind of still kicking myself for that one because I only bought it for like $400, and I got a lot of money from it, but in hindsight, I'm like, wow, if I had that guitar today, that'd be pretty cool.
What about you?
There's a couple of different pieces. Like the first guitar I ever had was an Area Pro 2. Remember those? Yeah, it was the first one I had, and I sold it to one of my friends. I still have communication with him, so I might actually try to get it back from him. But I sold that. It was just the first guitar, and it was where it all started. And I like to have it just for nostalgic reasons. But there was a Mark IV that I got rid of that I actually got it back. I sold it, and it was something I recorded on so many Sevendust records, and I'm like, now, I sold it just for that, right when I sold it, I knew I made a mistake. And like, I wanted the amp. I don't know why. I mean, it's a good sounding amp. It's not the best sounding amp, but it was just a sentimental value, and I got it back. So, it was hard too to get it back. I had to trade him something else I lost my ass on it, but it was worth it. Yeah.
You guys have had the privilege of actually your tone being described as the Sevendust tone.
I'm sure tuning probably has a lot to do with why it sounds the way that it sounds, but it's funny because there's a lot of other bands that tune to B and A sharp, and everyone's kind of in the same vicinity. But I don't know. I guess it's just the way that we play, probably the way we play together with Morgan, the way that it all kind of locks in. It's very rhythmic, and it's very syncopated, very, locked into the kick drum.
The last question I have is, are you guys still in love with what you do? I mean, through all the struggles and everything, I mean, do you still love it every time you go out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's, at the 5-6 week point of a tour like now, it's hard to get motivated during the day to do the, the normal, day-to-day routine after a while. You talk to your daughter, and she's like, only 3 more days, Daddy, so it's like you're in that mode, but I don't know, man, every time house lights go down and the intro rolls, I still get chills. I still get goosebumps, I still get that adrenaline rush that, it's exciting. I mean, I really do love what I do.
I love it, man. I mean, there's days that it's hard to be away, and there's days that, like John said, at the end of the tour, you're just kind of crisp and everything, and it's not because you don't enjoy doing this, or you don't enjoy the people you're around, or you don't enjoy that. It's just you're human. You start missing home. You start having things happen at home that you can't do anything about because you're out here, and it wears on people in different times and different ways. And we try to just, to be respectful of each other and then just get through it. And it's a job. There's worse jobs out there to be doing. There's no question. This isn't a hard job to do by any means, but it's hard to be gone. That's the only thing we kind of deal with. We're 12 guys stuck on a bus, every day, but we do all right considering that,
Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time. Once again, the new album, Cold Day Memory. It's a great album. I encourage everybody to go and check it out. And, once again, John, Clint, thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Cool.